Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today I'm bringing you guys a bit of a different video. It is Saturday and we post our videos on Sunday, so I need a video to post tomorrow, hopefully, if I'm organized enough and edit it. My apologies if you can hear power tools going in the background. We are actually getting our deck finished, like the steps and everything on it today, but I've got about half an hour before I have to leave for dancing work, so I thought I would quickly sit down and film this video. I've been wanting to film it for a while, and I asked on my Instagram if you guys would be interested in it, and everyone said yes. So I am going to film all of the books that I read in 2021. So if you are not a book person, that is fine. I was as a kid, and I kind of stopped in the later years of high school, probably like 10, 11, 12, kind of stopped reading. And then a few years ago, I definitely got back into it. Maybe like 5 years ago, I got back into it, but I am getting quicker / allocating more time to read now. So I'm getting through a lot more, whereas I probably was only doing 1 or 2 books a year, because I was just reading like randomly when I found time, or like, I don't know, if I had nothing else to do, I would read. So now I'm actually making time for it. I get through a few more, but mind you, it's not many books in comparison to other people. I work 2 jobs plus YouTube, so that's like my 3rd job. I have my own home and a husband and a dog, and so everything, life just gets in the way, I guess. So I definitely don't have lots of spare time, but I try and read as much as I can. So I'm gonna start with what I read last year in 2021, and I'm gonna give you a rating out of 10, I think. So all of these books I would say would be perfect for beginners. I feel like I've really sort of found my genre in books. I used to read like John Green, I don't know, just like kind of classic top reads, like, I don't know, in the recommended section of a bookstore. But I definitely feel like I've found like a niche now, and heaps of people I follow on Instagram, I feel like these books are very talked about. I don't have TikTok, so I don't know what goes on there with books, but I definitely follow a few book Instagrams. And obviously Rach, one of my best friends, also loves to read, so we kind of bounce off each other and can recommend books to each other. So let's just start. I'm gonna stop talking. The first book that I read in 2021, this one took me ages to read, but I actually really enjoyed it. It was The Flat Share. I really like her books. I have read one before, I can't remember what book it was, but really like her style. Very romantic, cute, love story. I don't know, just like classic, cute one. This one had a little bit of sort of suspense in it. You're waiting to find out something in it, so it kind of like made it a bit more interesting, a bit more gripping. But I really enjoyed this one. I loved their love story. It was just really sweet, really cute. Had me like smiling all the way through. It was a good book. I wouldn't say I was like, couldn't put it down, but I did really enjoy it. So this one I'd probably give maybe like a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10. Like, it was enjoyable, but not like, oh my gosh. Should I read the blurbs on the back as well? This one is, their friends think they're crazy, but it's the perfect solution. Leon occupies the 1-bed flat while Tiffy's at work in the day, and she has the run of the place the rest of the time. But with obsessive ex-boyfriends, wrongly imprisoned brothers, and of course the fact that they still haven't met yet, it seems this flat share is more complicated than expected. Really cute. There we go, book number 1. The second book I read, Rach actually got me for my birthday in 2020. It's called The Arrangement. Very unique. This one had me sitting on the edge of my seat. Like, I've never read anything like it. Really gripping, really like thriller, suspense, mystery, not mystery, but like kinda, I don't know, plus romance. Like, I don't know, this one really had me, what the heck, like could not expect what was happening in this book at all. Definitely a bit more dark and mysterious than I would normally read, but once I got to the end I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool, I liked that. But getting through it was almost a struggle for me just because it was so dark. I don't know, is that the right word for it? But it was good. I would probably give this one maybe like a 4 or 5 out of 10, only because it's not my personal favorite style. I really like books and movies with happy endings, and like I like rom-com movies, so I really like that in books as well. Light-hearted, I don't know, just like cutesy world. That's kind of what I like. This was definitely crazy world. I don't know. Yeah. So the blurb on this one is, Natalie, an art student in New York City, is struggling to pay her bills when a friend makes a suggestion. Why not find a sugar daddy? A wealthy older man who will pay for her dates and a monthly allowance. All that's required is to look pretty. Sexual favors are optional. Gabe, a handsome finance attorney, seems like the perfect candidate, and within a month they are madly in love. At least Nat is. Gabe already has a family who he has no intention of leaving. When he abruptly ends things, Nat can't let go. She begins drinking heavily and stalking Gabe and his family. Their supposedly mutual beneficial arrangement devolves into a nightmare of deception, obsession, and when a body is found near Gabe's Upper East Side apartment, murder. There you go. That pretty much explains what I was trying to say. 4 or 5 out of 10 for me, personally. Alright, my next one that I read is It Ends With Us. I've actually lent my copy to a friend at the moment, so I don't have it with me. But this is the book that I fell in love with Colleen Hoover. I'm obsessed. I can't compare her to any other author. I just love all of them. It's so good. It is just so good. I finished this one in like a week. I finished this book in like a week, which is crazy for me. It normally takes me months to finish a book. I was hooked. I love all the characters in it. The character development was like amazing. You just feel like you're in it. Like I can't even explain. Anyone I've lent this book to or recommended it to has loved it. Loved it. I've like given this book to so many people. Read it, read it, read it. It's just like, if you're gonna read any Colleen Hoover books, I would recommend that one to start with. Like, you'll just be hooked. And then all the others that I've read have like come close, but nothing has ever topped that book. It's still by far my favorite. So the blurb on the back says, sometimes the one who loves you is the one who hurts you the most. Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way from the small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with a gorgeous neurosurgeon named Ryle Kincaid, everything in Lily's life suddenly seems almost too good to be true. Ryle is assertive, stubborn, and maybe even a little arrogant. He's also sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily, but Ryle's complete aversion to relationships is disturbing. As questions about her new relationship overwhelm her, so do thoughts of Atlas Corrigan, her first love and a link to the past she left behind. He was her kindred spirit, her protector. When Atlas suddenly reappears, everything Lily has built with Ryle is threatened. With this bold and deeply personal novel, Colleen Hoover delivers a heart-wrenching story that breaks exciting new ground for her as a writer. It Ends With Us is an unforgettable tale of love that comes at the ultimate price. I just was hooked. This one is like, I would say 10 out of 10. Like, nothing has ever topped it. 10 out of 10. I have to give this book. So good, guys. Read it. Alright, my next book that I read that was very highly recommended was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, written by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I loved this one. So everyone recommended it and I was so impatient that I didn't go out and buy it. I bought it on iBooks and read it on my phone. Read this one in about 2 weeks. Pretty quick for me again. I read it everywhere I went, which was really handy having it on my phone. I used to read books in high school on my phone, but stopped as an adult, I guess. And yeah, I got this one on iBooks and it was really handy. So I loved it. Amazing. Again, a bit thrilling, like romance, love stories, also like a bit of history. I know it's fiction, but it was really great. Like, it had so many different aspects of this story and so many different layers, and they all coincide with each other, and it was really interesting. It really had me, yeah, intrigued. Like, I don't know, it was just so good. And Taylor Jenkins Reid is such a great writer, so you like love all the characters, and again, you feel like you know them. I don't know, it was just so good. I loved it. Rach raved about this one. We went out for coffee and she was like, this is the book that you need to read. So went and bought it straight away that weekend and started reading it. I can't find the blurb online, so my apologies, but pretty much there's like a little summary. It says, aging and reclusive Hollywood movie icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. So pretty much it's about a celebrity. She's been really secretive about details of her life, even though she lived her life in the spotlight. She's like 80 something and she finally agrees to talk to a reporter and tell her side of the story. It was really good. It kind of went back and forth from like the past and then into the present, and it was just great. I really liked that one. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. It was just great. Would recommend. That's another book that I think, if you're starting off, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Read them. The next book that I read was another Taylor Jenkins Reid one. Rach explained to me that there's kind of like 3 books. They're not a series, but they coincide. They're in like different years. So like, I think the Evelyn Hugo's ones were like in the 40s and 50s or 30s and 40s or something. Then Daisy Jones and the Six, that's the second one that I read. I got that on iBooks as well, and I kind of had really high expectations for it and I didn't love it. I don't know, I just felt I didn't like the writing style. It was like written almost like you were reading a script, so it like would say like Bek blah 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 blah, what I said, then Cody blah 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 blah, what Cody said. It was like as an interview, I think, written in all their different lines. I don't know, I didn't particularly love that, and I also felt like it just dragged on for so long. I read it, I think it took me a while, maybe like a month to read, and by the end of it I was like, okay, I just need to read every single night to get it done so I can move on to something that I enjoy. I don't know, I just didn't really love it. I don't know why. So it's pretty much about this girl who became like a rock star, pop star, celebrity, Daisy Jones. She's in a band, tells the whole story about them, like some love stories, and like, I don't know, I found it very dark almost. I think it was set in like the 70s, so lots of drugs, lots of, I don't know, it just seemed like messy. I didn't enjoy it. I understand their life was messy and it was trying to be like realistic of a rock star's life, but I didn't personally enjoy reading it. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I think I had such high expectations after reading Evelyn Hugo that I thought Daisy Jones was going to be similar, but they really weren't. So yeah, the third one in the series is called Malibu Rising. It's actually one of my to be read for 2022, but I think it's one that I'm just going to keep pushing onto the back burner, only because I didn't enjoy Daisy Jones. So I feel like Malibu Rising will be like my last book I read after I read all my other ones. I don't know. Anyway, so I'd probably give it like maybe a 4 out of 10. I really didn't enjoy it. I'm so sorry to anyone who loves that book. Sorry. Alright, my next one that I read was Confess by Colleen Hoover. I also have lent that book to a friend. So this one I loved. I loved it. I really loved it. I mean, I love Colleen Hoover. This one was so good. Great characters, great storyline. She always has like romance, but with like a hint of something else. So it keeps you like gripped in because there's something else going on, but beautiful love stories as well. I loved it. It was so good. It had like a mystery sort of vibe. You had to keep reading until you found out what was kind of going on, and I just really enjoyed it. Pretty much about a girl who, I'm not good at explaining books without giving things away, so I don't have the blurb on me, so I'm not going to explain it, but Google it if you want to. I loved it. It would be probably like an 8 out of 10 for me, or maybe even a 9. Like, I really loved it. 8 or 9 out of 10. Really enjoyed. Amazing. Alright, the next book I read for 2021 was Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I kind of went on like a Colleen Hoover roller coaster. I got hooked and I just kept going because none of the other books I read last year compared to it. So Ugly Love, obsessed. Didn't top the other books. I know this one's really raved about, but I probably, in my rankings, it's probably 3rd from the top. of Coho books. Great characters. This one had me crying. Actually, so did It Ends With Us, but oh my gosh. If you know, you know, like my heart. You will cry, you'll need tissues, just letting you know. So I'll read the blurb. It's not exactly love at first sight for Tate Collins when she meets the tormented and secretive Miles Archer. They wouldn't even go so far as to consider themselves friends. The only thing Tate and Miles have in common is a mutual physical attraction that can't be denied. Once their desires are out in the open, they realize they might have stumbled on the perfect no-strings arrangement. He isn't looking for love, and she doesn't have time for it. So that leaves just the sex. What they've got could be surprisingly satisfying as long as Tate can stick to the 2 rules Miles has for her. Never ask about the past, don't expect a future. They think they can handle it, but everything is different when the real emotions start to change the equation. Hearts get infiltrated, promises get broken, rules get shattered, love gets ugly. So pretty much no strings attached sort of arrangement with them. And yeah, it obviously gets messy and like more involved, and then you find out like details, and just, it is really good. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. Really good. It's pretty thick and it took me a while to get into it, and I feel like it was the same stuff for like 3/4 of the book, and then the last quarter was the really good part. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Definitely didn't have me hooked all the way through. 7 out of 10. The next one that I read was Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. This book came out last year. I got this one for my birthday and I read it in about a week. It was really fast. I really enjoyed it. Characters were amazing. I don't know, I just love Colleen Hoover. I can't really say anything bad about it. I'll read the blurb on the back. Bea comes from a life of poverty and neglect. Samson is from a family of wealth. When the two find themselves spending the summer as neighbours, they soon realise money is one of the few things they don't have in common. Their bond is too intense to ignore, but with only the summer separating them from the start of their new lives on opposite ends of the country, Bea and Samson decide to stay in the shallow end of a summer fling. What they don't realise is that a rip current is coming, and it's about to drag both their hearts out to sea. Really good, twist at the end. I really enjoyed it. I loved both their characters. I liked that it was like kind of easy reading. Like, I loved it all the way through. It was just great. Probably 8 out of 10. I think it would be my 3rd favourite Colleen Hoover book, I think. Number 1 would be It Ends With Us. Number 2 would be Confess. Number 3 would be this. Then number 4 would be Ugly Love. So amazing. Really enjoyed it. I then jumped into The Love Hypothesis. So this one was very recommended on Instagram and everyone said on TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but this one took me ages to get into. I don't know, it's got lots of like science lingo, jargon. It's about a PhD candidate that like does almost like a fake relationship with a professor to help out another friend. I don't know, you have to kind of read it. It is pretty thick. It kind of got me a bit bored. Like, it dragged on for ages. End was good, which I knew it would be, but it just, I think, was too long and too many like science words. I'm not a science person, so I don't know. I think I would give this one maybe like a 6 out of 10. Enjoyable, but not like amazing. Meh, still good. And then I'll just tell you, I am reading this one at the moment, Swear on This Life. This one I got maybe 2 years ago. I got it for a birthday present or a Christmas present because Carrie had recommended it. I am probably at least 3/4 of the way through. I've only got a little bit left. I'm really enjoying this. Rach has already read it and then she lent her copy to George. George was like, Beck, let's read it at the same time. She smashed it out quick and I'm still going, but I am really enjoying it so far. I am very intrigued to see what happens at the end, but it has had me hooked all the way through, which I really enjoy. I like books like that, ones that I can't put down. So I am actually gonna leave this as like the part 1 because I have to go to dancing work. I start in 20 minutes, but I want to tell you guys in a separate video my to be read for 2022. So my next book video will be my to be read for 2022. So guys, if you enjoyed this sort of book content, I don't know, hopefully it was helpful or you guys can check out some of the books, or let me know what you thought of some of the books below in the comments. And I will see you guys in our next video. Thank you heaps for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Love your work. Bek and Cody out.